she is, boys. Here she is, world. Here's Rose. Curtain off. Light the lights.
Well, let's just get it out of the way like we usually do. We have to talk about celebrity deaths.
I know.
The deaths of amazingly creative and famous people that have influenced the media, that have shaped our lives.
Yes.
And that's why we need to talk about the death of Emi Wada, the Japanese costume designer who worked on Kurosawa's Ran.
Oh, okay.
Where do you think I was going with that?
I wasn't sure because there have been a couple of celebrity deaths.
She has worked on a lot of stuff, and I gotta say, man, when you work for, say, I don't know, Deadline, and somebody much more famous dies, and you don't care about this person, you gotta throw all this stuff together real fast.
Yeah.
And so that's why the Japanese costumer designer, who was an Oscar winner for the Akira Kurosawa classic.
What?
Oh, they got Ran right. Okay, has died at the age of 84.
But they got Akira Kurosawa's last name wrong.
Yes.
One of the most famous directors.
Well, look, this woman, she designs costumers. So she says,
Well, oh,
let me
wait, she
see.
designs costumers?
They need to have a
is what they
scarf,
said?
I'm guessing, right? And definitely pins in their mouth. You know, they have pins in their mouth.
Oh my gosh. This is terrible.
Yes.
A woman has died who was very successful and
Yes.
very talented. And if you haven't seen Ron, the costumes are amazing.
Yes.
And, should get credit and recognition for that.
I don't know what she did with her life before she worked on Ron, which came out in 1985 when she was in her mid-40s.
Right.
But before that, she did do ballet and theatrical costume design as
Okay.
well. And I don't know if they don't have IMDb in Japan, but
They might not.
But or maybe she just did so much theatrical stuff. We know that Kurosawa was looking for that when he was putting Ron together.
Yeah.
We also might have killed this lady because we talked about Ron just a little while ago.
Right.
But she's worked on other things in Hollywood like Hero, House of Flying Daggers,
Okay.
the Mongol movie.
Okay.
That came out a while ago now. That was a Russian movie, I think.
Okay.
And and so she, did dabbled in that, did some of those big epic things, but mainly was known for her work and her Oscar win on Ron.
Yeah, I really I like Hero a lot too. That was a film that I really enjoyed. I know.
That's a movie.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But cool
I
costumes.
had forgotten.
Okay. Huh?
I had forgotten until I was tricked into watching a Cineflix video
Yeah.
about the latest and greatest fight scenes, even though
Yes.
we've already done this video.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that duel with Donnie Yen in Hero, between Jet Li and Donnie Yen,
Yeah.
takes place in their minds.
Minds.
And when I remembered that, it made me hate the movie again, all
I
over.
know.
Like
I know you
gasoline
hate
on
it.
embers. Once again, this amazing fight scene. So great.
It is great.
Guess who doesn't get the credit? The 20 guys pulling on these guys on the wires. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's like, oh no, it's in their minds. Like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Beating
I know.
up Jared Harris.
Yeah.
It's all in their minds.
That's around the
Stupid.
same time, I think,
Stupid.
too. Yeah.
You want to take the stakes of the already low stakes of wuxia when people can run on bamboo and walk on water and stuff. Already
you
low,
don't
and
like
then make
wushu.
them literally non-existent because it's just in their minds, man.
But
It's
your
a
minds
game
are
of Go.
powerful.
It's a game of Go.
Yeah, I know.
It's so okay. So
Okay,
anyway, what a fitting tribute
Wow.
to Stephen Sondheim, who was passed away.
Yeah. All right. I need to rewatch Hero with a more critical eye. But Stephen Sondheim passed away. I was really sad to hear about that. And
Must have been
of
doing
course,
something right. Made it to 81.
I thought it was 91.
Or sorry, 91. Sorry.
Yeah.
He told everybody 81.
Clearly, you
He's
got
like, pretty good, right? Pretty good.
Shave some years off there.
Got any Sondheim stories? Out of respect for the man, I won't share mine.
Oh, okay.
But everybody I know, not everybody I know, but everybody I know who's in music theater and has, I don't want to say made it to a certain level because it sounds like the people who didn't accomplish something, but who have met him or worked at a certain level have a Sondheim story.
I never met him, so I don't have a story like that or anything. But I was a huge fan. I am a huge fan of Into the Woods, which is one of his later shows, which doesn't like he's won multiple Tonys. This is not a show he's won his Tonys for, and it's not one of his supposedly more successful shows, but I love it. And like the lyrics are great. He did the lyrics for West Side Story too, which is another
which
really
probably should
great.
be mentioned before Into the Woods, but
Okay, but
you were a teenage girl, so
I was a teenage girl, and
teenage girls who watch West Side Story talk about West Side Story.
I saw West Side Story before I was a teen, so maybe I couldn't appreciate it. But Into the Woods came at just the right time, I think, and it was
West Side Story came for me right about now, so I guess it was the right time.
I know.
Yeah, of course. Sweeney Todd, funny thing happened on the way to the Forum. Gypsy, is doing movies as well. I mean, a lot of adaptations of stuff into movies. All those songs in Dick Tracy.
Yes, which are
I was the right age for Dick Tracy to really affect me.
They're good lyrics though. They are, and he, I don't know. He like worked with Hammerstein. It's Hammerstein, right? I'm saying that right.
Well, he was mentored by Hammerstein.
Yeah, Hammerstein, and worked with him on a couple of things, kind of as his his mentee. And I just think that that's really fascinating. And just I'd like to read a good biography about Sondheim, or like a good. I feel like a lot of
there's bad ones.
Well, let me put it this way: I feel like a lot of biopics, especially of people who are musical, tend to be like, oh, they were this wonderful person, and paint them all rosy cheeks, and like I don't know. I guess I'm thinking of like, the Queen biopic and stuff like that. Like
the authorized biography.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
I want to know everything.
I want to commission a collection of the stories that I've heard
from
people.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go out and do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah, great lyricist. Unfortunately, we'll not get to see Steven Spielberg ruin his script for West Side Story.
I think that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, thank you, COVID, because he might have had to have seen that. Although I'm sure he would have been fine with it. And also has got Merrily We Roll On coming out. Linklater's taking a shot at that, apparently.
Okay, weird.
Under Blumhouse.
What?
Look,
Blumhouse is doing a musical?
It's a weird century. It's a weird millennium, man. Things are different now. But you want to talk about millenniums, and the one that we just got out of, this guy was American theater for the 20th century. It's history passing. And if you at home, you don't care, you're not a drama kid, you don't care about this sort of thing, don't worry about it. But we're just, we're darkening the lights of the white way for Stephen Sondheim. Somebody who, even though I didn't do as much musical theater as a lot of people that I knew, was still affected by, and I've been in shows that he has written.
I mean, it's just very influential, and it's just really sad to hear of his passing. So yeah. Do we turn the ghost light off, or do we leave it on for Mr. Sondheim?
You dim the marquees.
Okay.
You never turn the ghost light off.
That's right.
The ghost is like, what the hell?
Well, it's time to haunt the theater now, like, clearly. So
trip over something.
Yeah.
I might trip through something.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And then the Ghostbusters come get me. This is the Just Enough Show podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mikan Hana.
We're here to report all the news that's fit to cast in the world of nerdy entertainment, and to report to you our review of the recent release of the new Marvel Disney Plus show called simply Hawkeye. Or perhaps Marvel's Hawkeye? Doesn't matter.
I think it's just Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Starring Jeremy Renner.
Yep.
And Haley Steinfeld.
Correct.
And a cast of wonderful actors and characters.
I mean, that
all being shot in the eye by an arrow.
Painting it a little thick. Like that pizza dog, though.
Hey, do you like scary movies? Do you like massacres? You like horror movies?
Yeah.
You like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Stick around for our review of Marvel's Hawkeye, and that's all I'll say. How you doing?
Good. With more pizza. Just all right, pile on the
save
pizza.
your dumb jokes for later. Come on.
Yeah, doing good. Surviving the holidays, and
that's a movie, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I'm thankful for the show and family and friends.
Oh, we're doing
and
this?
I guess we're doing this. But yeah, kind of
Surviving Christmas.
Yeah, okay. Taking it easy this Thanksgiving
Starring
weekend.
Ben Affleck and Christina Applegate and James Gandolfini. I'll tell you, that James Gandolfini,
Wow.
he did not pick movie scripts, man.
No.
He's a great actor. He's a nice guy, but 7% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That
I'm
sounds
sorry, you were saying?
terrible. That sounds terrible. You just wanted to cut
Thanksgiving's
in.
over.
I know.
You gave thanks
saying,
last week.
I said I was taking it easy. Okay? You asked me how I was doing. I said I was taking it easy.
I'm doing cyber crimes, man.
Oh, yes. Oh, boy, howdy.
Yeah, I'm jacking in, and we're running hard, up to the limit.
Yeah.
Going turbo flash. I love when people like, give me all the deets. How many eddies can we expect to get on this run?
Deets, nobody says that.
I know
Nobody talks like
it
this.
reminds, but it's the future, right? Only it's not. It's about 40 years in our future. I wouldn't expect to have a jaw by then, or a lack of a jaw by then.
Right.
But sometimes things propagate, and Futurama did this all the time. Like they would set up that like. Who's I didn't watch enough Futurama, but the Jamaican character, and he's like,
yeah, I know.
I asked him about that before, and it's like, oh, well, that's like, I don't mean to, that's kind of bad grammar. And it's like, no, in 2345, we changed it from asked to axed. Everybody just says that. And then they would just keep that going, Like, I already asked him that.
Right.
That's what it reminds me of. Like people just saying like, they're using it singular too. Like, I didn't learn anything, not a single deet.
Yeah, right.
It's like a high school movie written by like a 60-year-old. It's like, this is what it's like Frank Miller, I just expect like somebody a cyber runner to come up to me and be like, my mom don't shiv, you see.
Oh my gosh, please stop. It reminds me of, I'm trying to remember if I had a Clueless book or where did I see this? Because I feel like this was something physical.
Clueless
like,
paper dolls. There you go.
Well, that would have been fun. But I think
weirdos.
I think it was like a novelization or something like that. Anyways, I remember physically holding something with a glossary of terms that were featured in Clueless.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Clueless would be a good title for the game Cyberpunk 2077.
yes,
which is on sale for Black Friday. Not recommending it.
Yeah.
Good luck finding it, because unless you want to, the digital copy is still, like $25-$30.
Oh, okay.
But they are just throwing out of the window hard copies of it, which are essentially worthless at this point.
Out of your junker car.
And owning one is only contingent on them ever fixing it. They were supposed to have fixed it by Christmas of this year or by this time, and they've pushed that date back. So we don't know if it'll be quote unquote fixed and upgraded for next gen systems. But I saw it for $8.99 pre-owned copy. The tears of some disappointed gamer soaked into the disc.
Yeah.
And I went, I'll do it. Sure, why not? And popped it in. I have a PS5. I'm one of the fortunate people to have a PS5.
Yes.
And most of the time, it runs pretty good.
Most of the time.
Sometimes it takes a dump and dies. Like, totally. And the most annoying thing is that, one of the reasons it's taking these dumps is that it's badly programmed, but also because there are so many assets. So they tried to make it so...
it's so dense.
Dense, exactly. I didn't want to... I was looking for something to not say that, but you did it, Mick
I know.
McCallum.
Yeah.
And so it's got tough problems with that. It crashes. And the problem is whether it crashes to desktop, which it does, and I say desktop, but I'm playing on PS5.
Right.
Or it just sort of like glitches, and for that reason you die and it has to reload. It takes forever because it's got to load
the loading screen.
So I found that my play style, I've become very cautious because I don't want to die, because I don't want to sit through a boring, blank, minute-long load screen, sometimes more than a minute. But sometimes I can't avoid it, and I was driving down the street, and I'm like, there's no cars. This is a Sunday afternoon. This is real clear. And then I realized, oh no, it's slowly dying in the background. It has failed to load all the assets. And then pretty soon I will step out of my car, and then my head will disappear. And then, do you wish to report this bug? And I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. But
it's just disappointing.
Despite all that, I have to say, I don't know who slipped me the Kool-Aid, but after having played The Witcher 3, after 10 years of not playing it or whatever, and being fairly impressed, I decided to give the Cyberpunk a try, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now,
when it doesn't bug out.
when it doesn't, but I'm talking about like the things that I want out of a game, which is a character, story, that sort of thing.
Sure.
And although The Witcher is an open world game, which is more, you take on quests, like a RPG, the typical, it's their take on a Neverwinter Nights type thing. Not an open world, I guess. But, and what I mean by that is like little single serving. So you go, so you have a problem. It's like, we got there's a wyvern. Got to get rid of this wyvern. I don't think that's really what it is. And then you learn like, my son sold my shovel so he could fight the wyvern, but now I want revenge. He's like, you want your son back? He's like, no, I want the money. You're like, oh boy, this is a moral choice here. This guy doesn't care about his son. He just wants the money for that he sold it back or whatever. I don't know. This is a lot more. Cyberpunk is just like part open world RPG first person and part walking simulator.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or one of those things where somebody just made a movie, but they've just done it in the thing. But unlike most games, I don't find myself going zip, 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 read, skip, 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 skip. I find myself watching the performance because I feel like they've done a good job setting up the mise-en-scène of scenes. The voice acting is almost around the table very good. The worst voice actor in the game is Keanu Reeves. I'll tell you that right now. Is the $1 billion guy.
I mean,
but
he's not trained
I'm
to
playing
be
a female
voice
V. Her voice actor is great.
Yeah,
she's really
great.
good. Jackie's good, but
Jackie's
Jackie,
really good. I know.
And the capture is good. You can tell why this took so long to make because everybody does stuff, but the motions that they do emphasize what they're doing. If they're agitated. There's a point where we go to meet Dexter, the fixer, and we're talking to him. We're going to set up this big job. There's 4 people. There's you, V. There's Jackie. There's T-Bug. And Dex. And Dex is just, he's a big guy. He's the boss. He's smoking a cigar. T-Bug is a net runner. She's more comfortable in cyberspace and not in meat space. Yes. So she's got her legs kind of pulled up, to her chest, and she's just not really doing anything. And then Jackie, who's like a happy-go-lucky guy. He's eating noodles and having a good time. The entire time you're talking, Jackie's right leg is going up and down like a piston.
He's very agitated.
Yeah. But they don't slip that's him worrying about this job, and feeling the adrenaline. Like that little touch, like there's touches like that all over the game so far.
Yeah.
So when my head is not disappearing, I'm having a pretty good time in this game.
Yeah. Like, I would agree. Just watching that, like the motion capture does seem pretty good. Like when things don't glitch out, people are moving how they seem to be moving.
Yeah. And there's been a couple situations. I picked a corpo because I don't know how you can do the story without it being a corpo. The whole point
That's how it seems right now, anyway.
Is you're ripping off a corpo at the beginning, a corporation, and then also you become inhabited by Johnny Silverhand, the guy who literally lost his life trying to bring down the entire corpo system. So to have my character start as this shark in a suit corpo person, lose all their status, and then get hooked up with this revolutionary, and where we go from there, that's the best. What are the other two? One is I'm kind of like another Jackie. And then the other one is I'm a yokel who came in from the wastes and
from
this,
outside.
Gonna make my way in the big city.
Well, didn't she work for the same company that Keanu's character tried to...
Arasaka?
Yeah. I think she worked for Arasaka, didn't she?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, too. She got screwed over by them.
Yes.
And, she also tried to do something with them, too.
So
yeah,
I like that. But the only problem I have is what am I saying? What am I saying here? What am I saying?
What is the problem that you have?
My antenna are up for their transphobia.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if the advertisers of the game are different than the writers of the game. I don't know. I haven't
that's entirely
no problems
possible.
yet. I would have been 30 times as offended with half the time of a Grand Theft Auto game
Sure.
as I have been with this game.
Yeah.
At the beginning of a lot of games now, they have a message that says, this game is made from people of all faiths, genders, religions, or whatever. I can't remember if they have that on this or not, but I seriously doubt there's a lot of LGBTQ people working for CD Projekt Red.
Probably
But
not.
so far, so good. Mm-hmm. So far, so good. They do have that one ad that's plastered over everything of the female presenting lady with a huge bulge, in her crotch.
Oh, I
and
didn't
she's drinking a
notice
soda, and they're saying, you can mix it up. And I'm like, it's not, I think
notice
that's
that.
fairly toothless, except for the fact that,
What are you
you're
trying
just
to say
using
here?
this person's trans status as like a lame punchline.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than, so
not
far,
great.
so good. I will definitely come back with more if I end up
Well,
throwing my PS5 out the window.
they do get. How do you feel about maybe great for some, but how do you feel about the option of choosing your genitals?
Oh, and every time you change clothes,
Yeah.
it doesn't just put the shirt on. It makes sure that you see your character fully nude, and then their clothes appear. That's a sunk cost. Like I'm just gonna take that at the beginning.
Yeah.
That just juvenile sort of thing. It has not permeated the rest of everything else has been fairly sensitive,
I would
even
say
when
that
there's
that's
like
fairly true.
adult things going on. It's a game for grown-ups, except for like, I can see my character's titties. Oh.
Right. And I can choose how big or small they are.
And you pointed out, yeah, exactly. Well, if you're trying to design a character, I picked her
guess.
nose.
I know.
I picked her nose. They got an app for that now. But you pointed out the ridiculousness of the fact that they go to the length of letting you choose like your penis size or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're naked every time, nearly every time you change your clothes, you take a bath or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then they don't bother to. Your character's like wakes up. They're unconscious in the shower and they wake up and they've got underwear on.
Yeah.
And you're like, why did I pick my genitals then? What's the
Yeah.
point?
Right. But then you changed your clothes and then your underwear disappeared.
Yeah, right.
It's just like, okay, game.
So the
Make up your mind,
yeah,
which is
the different team, the menu team wasn't like talking to the
I guess
to the
not.
gameplay team
I
about
guess
like
not.
how adult we're gonna get here.
Right. Right.
But yeah. So anyway, final analysis for the pre-review. It's just right up my alley. It's all the books that I grew up and was reading at the right age. I know this is based on a role-playing game and sort of world that is itself based on William Gibson and Neil Stephenson stories and stuff like that.
Sure,
and so I feel
yeah.
like I know exactly what they're talking about. They don't explain a lot, but that's fine because I get it. And so yeah, it's good.
Nice. I keep thinking of.
I just think Keanu's the worst part, sadly.
He's not great. I keep thinking of. Do you know that? So I was a big fan of Poe in the 90s.
No, me too. Nevermore. Quoth the Raven.
The musician.
Oh.
Do you know that there's like this one song of hers that's like, if you could jack into my brain, you'd know exactly what you mean here. And like
Whoa.
that line, it's so 90s, and I don't know. I just thinking about it a lot for some reason when I was watching you play. Yeah.
Really? That's all you were thinking about?
No, that's not like all I was thinking about, but it's just like the idea that it would be easier for somebody to literally connect a wire to somebody else's head so they could understand how they feel than to have the person verbally explain how they feel about another person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, I got the impression that Poe was tall, but maybe she just wears like real tall boots.
I think she probably
kinda
wears
long-
really tall
long-limbed.
boots and tall shoes.
Like
Yeah.
Poe, she's still around. Poe's still around.
Yeah.
Not so much as you'd know. And then, of course, I like her brother's books
Yes.
as well. So
Yeah, I need to read that someday.
check out Poe. Check out Mark Daniel Lesky's work. I follow him on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he does stuff other than House of Leaves, but he's always doing these, I feel like his editor or his agent probably is like, can you just do like a book? Can you just do something we can put in an airport, please? But he's always
Yeah.
doing like these multimedia projects. And of course, the internet has helped him do like these. I'm
Well,
going to
that
write
sounds
a
like-
series of poems that will then be turned into a computer that someone will sing while the computer plays. And so, but I've been seeing recently he's promoting something. There's these cryptic kind of images that he's releasing on his Facebook. And
That's so interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
that seems like right up his alley, just doing multimedia type.
as long as you can get paid.
Right. right?
Jerk off all you want.
Yeah.
Get paid for it.
Yeah.
Which is the mission in Cyberpunk 2077. Let's talk about the news. Well, we should hit the highlights immediately, I think, while
Let's
we
do it.
have everyone's attention. How do you feel about Hayao Miyazaki coming out of retirement for a new animated feature?
Okay, first of all, this is not new news. I am a Miyazaki fan. I have known about this project for at least a year, if not longer. And so there must have just been like a media blast or an interview that he gave that people are like, oh, he's coming out. He's been working on this for years now, people. Like, so that's how I feel about that.
Oh, woo-hoo.
Also, he's not going to retire. Like, I have watched a couple documentaries on him. I think he is just going to continue to work until, he literally cannot work anymore. And
well, did he hand off Earwig to his son Goro to continue to work on this project?
I don't know if he handed it off to him or if it was always
because he was
Goro.
involved with the computer one with Earwig for a lot of it, but then
I don't know if
name's
he
on it.
handed it off to him or if it was mostly Goro's project in the
Goro's
beginning.
like, I'm gonna die.
Oh, wow.
The project is called How Do You Live? It is based on a 1937 novel by a Japanese author.
Yeah.
And is reportedly one of his favorite books.
And I mean, he lives really close to the studio, so I think he just walks there every morning.
I bet everybody that works there loves that.
Yeah, well.
Oh, the boss is here.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you
Hey,
work,
I brought croissants for everybody. Great.
if you work at Ghibli, you gotta be used to seeing Miyazaki's face and be okay with that. You know, that's what I think. He's a hard worker. He's one of these people who says he's going to retire, but I don't think he can. I don't believe it. If he says he's going to retire again, supposedly this is his last film, but supposedly The Wind Also Rises was going to be his last film. So there you go.
Well, he's 80.
Yeah.
So he's running out of time to enjoy his retirement. Just, by the way human beings work. So
yeah,
maybe he should get on that.
Maybe.
So let's talk about more weird movie news.
Okay.
So, we talked before about the Brian Epstein movie, Midas Man.
Yes.
And, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this?
I haven't heard any new news.
That Jay Leno would be playing Ed Sullivan in the film.
No.
Jay Leno. A man who is 50% chin. Remember Ed Sullivan's huge chin? Remember how he looked like Robert Zadar? Remember that?
He looks nothing like Sullivan. You might as well just cast Letterman as just don't do it.
And I mean, maybe he's been, we've seen it. We know that he meditates in his denim shirt and pants. Maybe he's lost some weight for the role, but he weighs about twice as much as Ed Sullivan probably did. So
I don't understand this casting other than...
I look forward to cheesy throwback stand-up comedians, though, doing the, it's a really big shoe.
Yeah, right. So is he going to be like, it's a really big shoe? Is he going to, combine them?
It's done. I'm going to call the cheesy comedians and tell them, don't bother.
Yeah.
You've already mastered it.
All right.
They've released a series of first images, and in another great move for radio, I'm going to show you what these images look like.
Oh, no.
And
of Leno playing Ed Sullivan?
Oh, no, I don't think we have that, but you don't feel as strongly as I do.
Uh-oh.
But here you go. Now, I want you to tell me who's who.
Oh, God.
And try not to cheat, because one of them's sitting behind the drums.
Well, obviously that guy's Ringo.
Okay, so if this guy's Ringo, and you know Ringo's face better than your own father's, does that look like Ringo?
No, he doesn't have a large nose.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Ringo's got a very...
Ringo looks like Finn Wolfhard.
He does.
Yes.
And his hair, I don't remember his hair being quite... I mean, I guess all their hair was kind of floppy.
Yes.
But that's Paul. That's got to be babyface Paul.
Because of the haircut. Now, I'll tell you, I don't know, get a young British guy, whatever. It's not a terrible Paul.
It's not a terrible
Here's
Paul.
John.
What? I thought that was John.
Oh, no. See? Okay, there we go. Now, that'll help me to decipher up here. So, look at this guy.
See, I think, is that supposed to be John?
Well, he's got a six-string guitar,
Okay,
but
I
and
don't
it's
know.
not a Rickenbacker.
From
so
that angle, maybe, and maybe that's George, but they don't really look like him that much.
no, that doesn't look anything like George Harrison.
What? Okay, so this is supposed to be about Epstein, but we're focusing on the Beatles.
Well,
a
I mean,
lot.
you can't. Yes,
You can't not do that.
if you made a movie about Victor Von Doom, I would assume the Fantastic Four would show up at some point. Perfect
Fair.
comic pop culture reference.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Is Victor Von Doom their manager?
Yes. All right. Fine. It's not perfect. If you made a movie about Willie the Mailman.
Sure. Right. Oh my goodness. Sorry.
So anyway, I think this is gaining traction simply because people like the Beatles. But
People love the
once
Beatles.
again, this is a company you've never heard of. This company. The images are like, wow. And Jay Leno, eh? So whoever gets distribution through, they're gonna have a real flop.
I don't know how I feel about this. Yeah. What the hell? What was the name of? I can't remember what it was called now. That Beatles musical that came out. It was almost 20 years ago now.
Across the Universe.
Yes.
Julie Taymor.
Yeah, that was very disappointing.
The Beatles weren't in that, were they?
No, but it was like supposed to be like the Beatles, so it was like their
No.
discography.
Well, it was a rock opera,
Yes,
sort of, that
Sort
used
of.
their music.
that used their music.
But it was just about three teens
I
making
know.
their way through the counterculture movement.
I know.
And then it ended with them playing a song on a roof for some reason, because wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And at one point, Bono showed up as Ken Casey, and they all took the electric Kool-Aid acid bus to wherever.
Yeah, I remember that. What the hell was that movie? I know it was. We saw that together, and I think it was my idea to see it. So I apologize. Years
here's
later,
the thing: there's not a lot of Beatle media. If you want to watch a good Beatles movie,
yeah.
watch the Beatles movies. I mean, they're not
Oh, that's fair.
good. Although I'd argue A Hard Day's Night is probably one of the best like musical films of all
But
time.
what about Yellow Submarine too?
Watch Yellow Submarine? Yeah. What Sgt. Pepper's, do it. Then secondly, I would say watch Backbeat. I think it's pretty good. It's not perfect. It's kind of TV movie-ish, but there's some okay performances and they get the music in there. But like, yeah, Yesterday, Across the Universe, and this, I don't know.
Well, I didn't even bother watching Yesterday because I learned my lesson. But
Do the Beatles, the surviving Beatles, make cameos in Yesterday?
good question.
Paul
I don't know the
McCartney's
answer.
like, oh, I'm not afraid of any ghosts. And he just drives away.
Honestly, I could see. Wow, I
Actually,
could see.
I gotta
Ringo
update my
showing
cameos
up.
now,
Yeah.
don't I?
Oh my gosh.
if anybody ever forces me to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife,
I
I gotta say I can chew through canvas. So I'll get out.
let me out of here.
Anything up to and including canvas. Steel, we don't know.
Yeah.
So chain me down. What else is going on? Let's talk about some TV news.
Okay.
The Dead Boy Detectives has a pilot set at HBO Max.
I know nothing about this.
You know something about this.
Okay.
This is an idea from Neil Gaiman's Sandman.
Oh.
Where
Okay.
there's a storyline where the two, what happens? Death gets busy for some reason. What
Okay.
happens? Oh, that's right. Satan, in a ploy to annoy Morpheus,
Yes.
closes hell and
Right.
kicks all the sinners out. And so a lot of dead people come back to life, but in a Ghostbusters zombie cab driver kind of way.
Right.
What if the zombie was like, and so all that's going on while this young boy at a boarding school is basically tortured to death by some of the ghosts who come back. There's a thing
really
in British
dark.
fiction about boarding school. They love boarding school fiction.
I
and
think
it goes
'cause a
to
lot of
the
them go to
something
boarding
something
school.
boys. There's a series about boys at a boarding school.
Okay.
And there's like I think there's a lot of homoerotic undertones. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but rum sodomy and the lash, that sort of thing. And then there's like Saint Trinians where it's like, these girls are bad, watch out. It's just like a thing for some reason over there. So I think this is like a weird spin on that.
Okay.
And so these two boys die. Don't worry about it. They're dead. But now they're
Okay.
ghosts. And because death is too busy, she's like, look, I'll be back later, but she never comes back. And so now they can go off and like solve mysteries. And they did a mini-series in the 90s that lasted for a little while. Anyway, I think this thing was sold a long time ago. I remember hearing that somebody wanted to do something with it a long time ago. Now, just now, it's piloted at HBO.
Interesting.
Which is weird because it's
Sandman's
HBO.
at
Why not
Netflix, right? Isn't the Sandman series at Netflix?
Yeah, but they're separate.
I thought it's just weird that, okay, I guess a gay man can do whatever he wants. Okay. Interesting. So how old I don't remember how old these boy ghosts are. Are they going to make them teens?
They're young. These boys have to shave. These boys in these pictures that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So it's more like the dead young men detectives.
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to age them up.
Dead dude detectives.
Yeah. So they're going to age them up so it's more appealing to teens and people who are slightly older than that. It sounds kind of like the Winchesters except ghosts.
Well,
Supernatural, but ghosts.
I already closed the article, but some actors from Supernatural will be in the pilot.
Okay, well there you go. That
but not the gay ones though.
Oh, please stop. I'm not okay with all of that. It's really, really upsetting to me.
Whose expose was that?
I believe it was on the Mary Sue, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was.
Okay. I guess go to the Mary Sue.
Yeah,
and read about homophobia in not in the fan base, in the production of Supernatural.
Yes.
Let's talk about genre shows that people make the wrong assumptions about.
Okay.
A British politician claimed this week that women in film and TV roles, especially women who have been replacing traditionally male roles, are leaving boys with criminals for role models.
Is this about Doctor Who? Because I heard this specifically about Doctor Who.
Yes.
Maybe they changed it, but like the female doctor is making men in Britain be criminals.
Yes. Here's the tortured
bullshit.
Here's the tortured logic, as far as logic is even the word that you would use. This was at a Westminster debate, a debate marking International Men's Day. Oh boy.
Why do we have this?
Let's all just go to the cinema instead of doing this.
Yes.
But they did this, and Conservative Party MP Nick Fletcher said that the female replacements, in his words, for characters like Doctor Who or James Bond, which has not happened. He has not been replaced. But
there was a female 007.
The idea of possibly having a female James Bond has left young men to look instead to characters like Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders. So I guess young men with Netflix accounts.
Yeah.
Is that on BBC in the UK?
It might be.
Or maybe ITV?
It might be on some one.
He says, in recent years, we've seen Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, Luke Skywalker, The Equalizer, all replaced by women. You know, that character we all look up to, The Equalizer.
The F?
Two recent Denzel equalizers, and just because Queen Latifah is the equalizer now, she's on the list.
This is so much BS. I just can't even handle it. And I am amazed. I'm sure in his expose, he says SJWs, or he has learned to not say that.
No. That's a dog, a bullhorn. You want to use a dog whistle.
Right.
And here's why the liberals suck, or I guess in Britain, Labour sucks, because the Labour Party chair, who's also talking in the debate, replied that the issue was far more complex than Fletcher had suggested, instead of just saying, "Shut up, idiot." Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let me put this in words that you
Clam
understand.
down the apples and pears.
Yeah,
whatever
right,
they would say over there.
Right.
Shut it. You ponce.
Yeah, there we go. I was trying to think of like.
I'm assuming he's red. She's a Conservative MP.
I'm assuming he is too.
A ponce is right.
Yeah.
Or a nonce if you want to get a little spicier.
Okay. I was trying to think of other British slang, but it's just gone out of my head.
Your bonce, isn't your bonce your head?
I have no idea. Probably. Yeah.
No. Yes, head. I looked it up.
Okay. All right.
I'll let you in the bonce, you poncy nonce.
There you go. Make sure all of your words rhyme, because it's more accentuated than what you're saying.
Is there a British version of Nipsey Russell?
What? What?
I could see him doing a bonce and a ponce.
Who's
with
Nipsey
a nonce.
Russell?
All right, don't worry about it.
Okay, all right.
It's just a meeting of the cultures here.
Well. Well,
Do British have soul food? What's British soul food?
I don't even. Do they?
British Nipsey Russell would know. Doesn't Nipsey Russell already sound like a British name? I get off Nipsey Russell.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like a British
Nipsey Russell. I miss
name,
Nipsey Russell.
But I don't know that they have soul food because I thought that was an American, a Black American thing.
I'll take their equivalent.
Okay, all right. I don't know, Indian.
Why don't you say there are far more important things to talk about, Minister, or whatever she said?
Yeah.
You know the movie The Lovely Bones?
Yeah.
It's based on a book by author Alice Sebold.
Yep.
That author also wrote a book called Lucky, which I believe is a fictional book, but it is based on her experiences of being attacked and sexually assaulted
I thought
when she was 18.
Lucky was supposed to be biographical. I thought Lovely Bones was fictional and Lucky was supposed to be factual. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Lucky's a memoir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Then it's factual.
Yeah.
This isn't a million little pieces
Right.
situation. This really happened.
Right.
But what didn't happen was the guy that went to jail for attacking her didn't attack her.
Yeah.
Now, it's a complicated issue, clearly. And when you get into, I think I did find this in the Mary Sue, when you get into the details of the case, as the Mary Sue lays them out, and the idea that she had initially sort of picked this guy as the guy who attacked her, but then later in a lineup picked somebody else or said, no, it's not that guy.
Correct.
But then the police are like, well, we're pretty sure it's this guy, and kind of, I don't want to say pressured because I don't know legally what I can say.
Right.
But convinced her essentially to go along with this. And so
Yes.
this guy was, he's incarcerated. And I think he had to be there. He had to be there longer. Like if he had confessed, he could have, it's the whole thing where if you had confessed, you could have got out
Maybe
sooner.
a smaller
and he maintained
sentence.
his innocence, and
Right.
he thinks that contributed to him being denied for parole because he wasn't showing remorse.
Right.
And so the guy failed parole 10 times or 10 years.
Yeah.
So he's finally out, overturned on, I think, DNA evidence. And so it's just this terrible, terrible situation. And the
Yeah.
guy, to his credit, has been, he's like, look, it's a terrible situation. I hate what happened to her. I hope
Right.
that she comes out and says something about it, because I think it, I would, for me personally, that would help me, and also
Right.
maybe other people who are in this situation. But she was wrong.
Yeah.
And she hasn't said anything. So
No, she hasn't. Well, and I think he actually, he was released 20 or so years ago finally, but the thing that happened recently was a judge finally overturned the ruling and said that you're not guilty and it shouldn't have happened.
Right.
Which is a big deal, and it's something that he's been fighting for a really long time. And he did get married, but the article, it's so depressing and upsetting what happened to him. But I guess he had decided that it wasn't a good idea to have kids while, this was hanging over him.
Oh, sure.
And now him and his wife are past the age where they can have kids. So he's kind of, a little sad about that, understandably. Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm almost more mad at the police
Back
than,
the blue.
Yeah. I mean,
Back the blue.
You knew that this wasn't the right person.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know, but the point is they don't care.
They want the case to be closed.
Yeah. You've seen the first 48.
Yeah, I know.
The funny thing about the first 48 is I don't know. Those guys are both super cynical, but they have totally convinced themselves that they are always right. Bad example, because it doesn't take place in this country, but it's like the thing with Amanda Knox and how,
gosh,
everybody was ready to call her, some murdering Jezebel. She goes to prison. Everybody's like, tut, tut. And then this, documentary, this investigative reporter starts to look into it, and they find the investigator thinks he's Sherlock Holmes, he smokes a meerschaum pipe, and he's immediately focused on where's the girlfriend? Where's she? So, she's got an alibi. Yeah, but maybe it's a sex crime, and they were doing sex things, and he's just completely lost in his own, fanfic that he's writing about these crimes. Mm-hmm.
But the thing with the Amanda Knox case is still, like, I've watched a couple documentaries on it. I still think it's unclear with the evidence that has been presented what exactly happened.
I'm going to say she absolutely didn't do it. Now,
Okay.
is she a privileged, like,
Oh, yeah.
weenus of a person?
Yeah.
Yes, she is. But did she deserve to be in jail for years? Absolutely not.
Right.
I'm not going to listen to her podcast.
No.
You know, I
Yeah.
empathize with her plight.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like not a good person.
No, not
But it's
great.
okay to not be a good person.
Right. So, anyways.
For now.
Uh,
Movies.
movies.
The Birds of Prey movie was a rated R movie because Harley Quinn says the F word. But not on
Okay.
HBO Max. HBO Max added Birds of Prey to its lineup, its streaming lineup, but it was the TV-14 version.
Oh, so they took the F word out.
They censored no egg yolk splattered all over the pavement. The only thing anybody remembers about that film.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Whatever. Who cares?
They put the TNT version on.
Yeah.
So people complained, and they're going to switch it.
Okay.
Now, do you think it was really an accident, or do you think they're like, who cares?
They're probably just trying to get more people to watch it, but I wonder, like, how many people really have parental controls on streaming networks anyways. And also, unless you have it's password protected, like, it's pretty easy to just say, yes, I am the parent, and, just log on to your parent's account.
Here's the scenario
and
you're
watch.
imagining. I love Big Bird. Oh, bird, Big Bird. Birds? Birds of prey? I pray to Jesus.
No, I'm
Let's watch
imagining a
this.
teenager doing
Oh my
it.
God, that egg sandwich.
Yeah, I don't think a little kid would be left alone with a controller. I'm imagining a teenager just doing it, but okay.
Well, it's a movie for teenagers.
I guess.
Both the TV-14 and the rated R one. It's
All right.
Only a teenager could find that entertaining,
I
right?
guess so. I guess.
Yeah. You think parents don't hand their kids the remote and just go nuts?
Have at it. I don't know.
On
I
HBO.
wasn't supposed to, like, as a young teen, watch rated R movies. I saw them at my friends' houses, but,
Maybe this Big Bird is into some sex crimes.
Oh my God.
No, get out of here, Italian
No.
investigator.
With your stupid pipe. Get out of here.
Did you hear about the Squid Game smuggler?
You've told me about this. This is terrible.
This is terrible.
Yeah, it really is.
This is terrible. A guy smuggled copies of Squid Game, the smash hit South Korean series, into
Yes.
North Korea.
Yep.
And nobody has bothered to go deep enough to get any real detail on this. So we know he's a smuggler. I don't know what that means. He's a bootlegger, I'm assuming. Right?
I'm
There has to be
assuming.
people in North Korea who want to watch Western media, right?
Yeah.
So this guy snuck it in on USB drives or something like that. And I think it was discovered when he sold it to some students who were watching it. Now, I don't know where they were watching this. It says in the article, high school students. Again, sure, it's tough to get information out of Korea, but nobody went too deep on this. But the scenario is high school students watching the show, they get caught. They don't want to get put to death, assuming you can put high school students to death in North Korea.
Right.
And so they outed the smuggler, and the smuggler has been sentenced to death. Now, do we have a name for him? No, because nobody
Thought to do that.
has gone very deep on this.
Well, what is the scenario?
This is a bleeds
even
it leads
where
type story.
right where the high school students are secretly watching. Are they watching it at their friend's house? Like, did a parent walk in? Did the parent report? What is I don't understand. And I just feel bad for this guy who for stealing the series is gonna die. That's not the punishment does not fit the crime.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to remark that North Korea should like Squid Game because it depicts South Korean capitalism as predatory and brutal.
It does, even though there is a character.
The guys in the
who's
tiger
supposed-
masks aren't the North Korean high command, are they?
No, but they didn't bother to do that. They just know that there's a North Korean character in it who escaped North Korea, and so therefore North Korea looks bad. So therefore, it's bad. It's bad media. Why is everything so depressing? But I would feel bad being one of those high school kids, being all like, oh, it was him. And then he gets put to death for it. I would feel terrible carrying that for the rest of my life.
If you are a North Korean high school student?
Yeah.
I would think about it during the rest of my life.
Right. Yes. And then I probably would try to escape freaking North Korea.
I would have a life to think about it.
Well,
anyway.
that's true. Yeah.
The other guy is just going to be shot out of a giant tiddlywink cannon or something like that. I'm just assuming that they're going to, the punishment fits the crime. Quick, carve this umbrella out of a honeycomb.
No,
Go
stop
ahead.
it.
It's not funny. Let's talk about TV. TV's so crazy, isn't it?
It is.
It's so crazy. Who knows what's going on TV at any given time? I know this, though. I know that Ridley Scott has got a live-action Blade Runner and Alien TV series being developed.
Please stop. Ridley Scott, please stop so we can continue to have fond memories of you, because pretty soon you're going to be remaking so many things that we're going to stop.
Guy's 83.
He's like Hayao Miyazaki. He's not going to stop.
He's got 2 movies in the works right now. He just had 2 movies come out this year, which have both essentially failed.
Oh, and
Gucci's doing okay.
He blamed the last duel failing on millennials because
who reads the news and who responds to it?
I know.
Let's just talk about that because I was going to move into that, but so he wants to make these into shows. Blade Runner was already a show. Nobody remembers that.
When? I don't remember
90s.
I don't remember this at all.
What's his name? The guy, the 5 o'clock shadow guy.
5 o'clock shadow guy.
It was like, there was a Blade Runner show.
Okay.
And I guess like an alien show.
There was an alien show?
No, but what do you do though? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. There's aliens. So that's already, that's all in the works. And then
with
of course,
HBO or something? Do you know?
Do you want to take over?
No, I don't.
No, nobody has bought these. Now
Okay.
somebody will, and I'm sure Warner's probably has like first look at them, right? But anyway, that's what he wants to do. Yes, he says that millennials watch movies on their phones. I'm going to do the Martin Scorsese defense. He chose to work with 2 people who have their stars are very dim, and they don't draw anybody.
But they got also, a woman to write the female part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, of a rape story.
That sounds like something that I want to be a part of, right?
Well, I mean, you read about The Last Duel and that it's supposed to be like Rashomon, but it's not really. We've talked about it. I don't need to rehash it. We
have.
I think it's just a bad movie, dude. Let it go. You got another one out this year.
House of Gucci, 61% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not really.
Maybe TV's the best move for him at this point.
It might be. I mean, I guess it's a good thing that he still feels like creating, but like, dude, you've redone Blade Runner how many times, and there've been how many different films of Alien? Like,
where's the Gladiator sequel?
Yeah, right.
Jimon Hunsu needs some work.
Yes.
No, he actually doesn't. He works all the time.
Oh.
I don't feel bad for that guy at all.
But I like seeing him and stuff. So
yes. Did you know that Kojima Productions has launched a new division focused on film and TV?
Really? Speaking of
Hideo Kojima, yeah, the guy who does the video games, Metal Gear Solid, Death Stranding. He has always loved films.
Yeah.
He has put his love of films and references to films into everything that he's ever made. And he's always talked about kind of wanting to do movies and TV and that sort of thing. And so maybe working for Konami slowed him down and he was never able to do that. But since he has parted with Konami, he has formed Kojima Productions, his own company, and they are adding a wing for entertainment.
I think that's a great idea, especially like, like you were saying, a lot of his video games have very cinematic values to them.
Yeah.
And
I got to tell you, you can't make a movie that just references Escape from New York the whole time, though. There's a movie called Escape from New York. I foresee a scenario in which, in 5 years, John Carpenter gives the green light to the lawsuit against Kojima Productions because now they're just making movies based on John Carpenter movies.
Or John Carpenter gives Kojima his blessing because he likes him.
No, that was the video game.
Oh, okay.
Now it's like, hey, you're ripping off my movie.
Yeah, he just travels with a guitar wherever he goes.
He's just like, this is my angry synth beat here.
I have to
hits a
have
button. Yeah, it's a problem. Two old guys duking it out.
Yeah.
One in very tight pants. My money's on John.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that Amazon wants to make a Mass Effect TV series.
Okay. How do you feel about that, being a huge Mass Effect fan?
I think it's a movie.
It's a movie,
But
at best.
if you want to, you could do a TV series.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I think it would be very expensive. That's why I think it should be a movie. Big expense, big gain, at the box office. And then you can do more if you want to.
Do you think...
Yes, there are plenty of... The characters are deep enough. There's enough side plots that you could work into, episodes and that sort of thing. But it would cost you a lot. Now, Amazon has a lot of money. They're spending $1 billion making a Lord of the Rings TV show.
Yeah.
That they hire first-time writers for. Different rant.
As you do.
Different rant.
Yeah.
Actually, no. We'll save that rant for the feature.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's an epic story. Guy's going to save the universe and nobody wants to help him and he's got to collect a team, do it on his own. It's a movie or a trilogy or movies, maybe.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking of, they're probably thinking of, they're doing the last couple of seasons of The Expanse and could be seen kind of similar to that in some ways. So maybe they're thinking this could be their next big, more harder sci-fi show than
Die Hard, more harder.
Yeah,
Die
right.
Hard 6.
Right. Not high fantasy, hard sci-fi-ish, show that they could do. I don't know. That's kind of what I think they're probably thinking. Because I know The Expanse is like their last season coming up like really quick here. So,
It is.
Yeah, which is really hard to believe, and it makes me kind of sad. I wish other shows were better than they are, like Foundation. I wish Foundation was better than it is. Like, the first couple of episodes were really good, but...
Done?
Yeah. What?
Just kind of trailed off there down to the end.
Uh-huh.
And touched on several other series.
I did.
Which I guess were relevant.
Yeah.
Kind of leaves me nowhere to go, but that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
To top all this off, it's okay. All right, sorry. I'll keep pedaling. I just feel like the paddle boat's going in a circle, though. Netflix is going to buy Scanline VFX. They are the special effects studio that has worked on shows like Stranger Things, Cowboy Bebop, and also has worked on some of the Marvel and DC movies, Eternals most recently.
Okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense. They're just going to buy them, so they'll be in-house anytime they work on stuff.
So it's free for us.
Yeah.
And then also, because all we do is spend money
Yeah.
and make it, I guess, on subscriptions.
Yeah.
Netflix is an entertainment landlord. I said it.
Yeah.
But maybe we should try to start making some money. And so when Disney's like, we need, this guy to fly, then we could be the ones doing it.
Right.
Although it stands to reason that Disney is a bad pick for this example because they probably have 20 of their own VFX companies and would not give money to their competitor.
Right.
But
right.
maybe make a little money around here.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Come on, Ted. Your part of the rent is due.
Right. So I don't know. I wonder how the VFX were on Cowboy Bebop. I didn't really watch it, so I wouldn't know. But I mean, Stranger Things has been pretty good. I'm just trying to think of like other things that I've seen that they've worked on and try to judge if they're a good company or not. But
We've put it off way too long. I've put this off far too long.
what's that?
We haven't put a poll out for this week for our patrons.
Oh,
Should we so I had a couple ideas of fun things. Maybe we don't deserve fun, especially because we put it out so late.
Oh, boy.
Maybe we put up, should we watch Cowboy Bebop, the live action series, or something else we don't want to watch, which is...
Which is what?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
Another TV series that we don't want to watch. I was not prepared for this.
What's something that come on, think about, channel the disgust. Think about some ad that's flown by and you've just been like, ugh. The mayor of Kingstown, for example.
What is that?
That's the continuation of the Renaissance. Jeremy Renner. He's the mayor of Bridgetown. Kingstown? Which town? I don't know which town.
I mean, that sounds awful. So, I mean, it could be that. Gosh, I know there's other things that I don't want to see that are out.
It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You know, you could lie and end up liking it. But the point is that it has to be something that would compare to Cowboy Bebop because it has to be a choice. If we put, Hit Monkey.
Oh, that's a good one.
I did it.
You did it.
Never let it be said that I can't do it.
Yeah, in the clutch, pulled it out. I'm not really excited to watch that. I don't want to watch either of those. You're right.
It's already out. Came out on November 17th. I haven't heard a single word about it. So check
crickets.
out. If you're a patron, you can vote in our poll, which will appear on our Patreon soon.
Yeah.
Hit Monkey versus Cowboy Bebop. Which terrible show do we watch and talk about next week on the show?
Yeah. Oh boy, can't
I don't know
wait.
who I hate more.
Yeah.
Myself or the audience? Myself.
Happy holidays to us.
Why do you make me do this, Marvel? Why do you make me do this? I'm not a parent. I can only imagine, I suppose, the intense, self-sacrificial, all-consuming love and protection that you feel for your children. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
But when they have done for the 37th time the thing that you've asked them not to do, or if they, for instance, just totally random example, drive around on their riding lawnmower without putting any oil in it, so the engine freezes up, and you're just like, can I shoot this person out of a cannon?
Oh my goodness!
That be okay?
Whoa!
When you punish them, sometimes you're like, I don't feel too bad about this punishment, right?
Uh-huh.
You have to feel that way sometime. You're only human.
Right.
Why does Marvel make me do this? I'm about to beat the living holy hell out of Hawkeye.
Yep.
And as much as I didn't like watching Hawkeye, I may enjoy this a little bit.
Oh, really?
I may enjoy beating up Hawkeye a little bit.
I see.
Because it is in Hawkeye, concentrated, in concentrate form. It represents a lot of problems that I've had with these Marvel projects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happens in Hawkeye? And oh my God, if you say Bell Tower, I'm just going to snap. And you will become this hypothetical child that I maybe don't mind punishing so much.
I'm terrified. Where do I even start? Haley Steinfeld is Kate Bishop.
Sure.
I mean, do I tell her backstory or do I just... something tragic happens in her past. Her dad was killed during the attack in New York. And at the same time, she sees Hawkeye kicking butt and she's totally in awe of him. And so she tells her mom she wants...
As much awe as can be communicated by that little robo doll that they got to play young Kate.
She wasn't very good. And so she tells her mom at her dad's funeral that she needs a bow and arrow. And then we're...
No, that's economy.
I know. So
not even at the wake.
No.
They are literally in folding chairs.
Yep.
And she's like, what do you need, honey? I think I need a Marvel show.
Yeah.
And
then we get a whole montage of her, well, I guess silhouettes of her getting like medals for archery. And okay. Anyways.
I have this buzzer. It's going to go every time. It's like, no, digging too greedily, too deep. So
she's skilled with a bow and arrow. And then we fast forward to present day, it's right, exactly, and it's the holidays, and Hawkeye is in New York with just his kids for some reason.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas, and Kate Bishop's mom is getting engaged to this guy that she doesn't like, and there's like this benefit, and at the benefit there's like a shady black market auction where they're selling Ronin's suit and his sword what is happeing?
No, you have to say it like, I have no idea. I don't even know.
I don't even know. And
Mom, did that guy say he was going to beat you to death?
yeah, right.
I don't really even know.
I don't even know. Walk away. I am laughing. And basically the black market auction gets attacked. So her great idea is to put on the suit and start kicking butt. So she does that. She saves a dog. She meets Hawkeye. He's like, who the hell is this running around in my suit? And he's freaked out.
It's his suit.
It's his suit.
It's the Ronin suit.
And he wants it back.
Which we have a real connection to.
Yeah.
Because we saw it in one scene of Endgame.
Yeah. So then
in the first act.
Yes. They kind of team up and she's like super excited kind of because like he's our idol and she thinks that they're going to team up and he's like, no, I'm just getting the suit back. I just need the suit. And
that's it.
That's basically it.
That's the first 2 episodes
of
Marvel's Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Why do you make me do this, Marvel?
Why do you make me do this? Do you really want to hurt me?
Something that we have talked about is the fact that add Boy George to it and be more interesting.
Yeah.
He's
Everything's
playing
more interesting.
That's his mom's getting married to Boy George.
Yeah.
Let's figure that out.
Okay.
Break it down.
Yeah.
We've talked about this off the air. I don't know why I say that. I want to be honest with the audience. I mean, it's not like we planned these conversations, but we can't help but talk about it. And one of the things that we talked about was that this isn't about anything.
That's my biggest complaint about
and
it. Biggest critique.
If you do let's say a Ms. Marvel show, it's about a girl who has the same, except she's not rich, she's poor, and she's not white. She's Pakistani. But she idolizes a hero.
Yes.
She's given them her moment to become a hero.
Yeah.
And then it's about how do I live up to that, right?
Right.
That's about something.
Yes.
Loki is about something. You have a character who is not the character we've all fallen in love with.
Correct.
So there's a meta objective of trying to bring that character back because that guy is willing to do 10 more movies or whatever, and we killed him, so we have to bring him back. But it's also about a character being defined by not only the events that this other character was a part of, but also his role in a story. It's a very meta sort of thing.
Right.
Is he the bad guy of the story? What if he tries to not be the bad guy of the story? Can he be something that that other people don't think that he is?
Yes.
I'm not going to go through every single Marvel thing. No. But most of them are about something.
Yes.
What's this about? Other than what we already said,
it's
of
really
a girl
hard
who
to say.
apparently wants to be a hero. It's not about anything.
It's
about giving Jeremy Renner something to do because he is also apparently willing to do one of these. And it's about Shane Black movies are set at Christmas. That's what it's about.
But it's not written very well.
No. And that's a separate criticism.
It is. So,
but there are a lot of, Another Life is about something. It's also not written very well.
Right. I mean, I would say it's clear that he is going to become a surrogate father as the series continues because her father is dead, and she idolizes him, but we're not.
I think you're selling Jack DeCane short. But that's just me.
Why are some of the good actors in this for very short periods of time?
It's like Simon Callow gets killed in the first episode.
Seriously.
I'm like, oh, Simon Callow, dead.
Yeah.
You want to outro us, and we haven't even begun yet. I still want to talk about the fact that this isn't about anything.
I know.
This is empty, and so Iron Fist is about something.
Oh boy,
this is not about
you went
anything.
There.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was about tough politics, tough. Black Lives Matter. I mean, that's not really about something, but they were kind of trying. It's about saying no to the person with the clipboard when they want to talk to you about hungry children. It's about, social awareness or consciousness.
Right.
This is about nothing.
Yeah.
This isn't about anything at all. This is about trying to do a Shane Black thing. And all the ding dong, and the trailers and stuff set us up to think that they maybe had an angle on that. And they don't at all.
No.
And my real problem with this as a conception, or really as an execution, I guess, is that Hawkeye, there's a seed, there's a kernel there of Hawkeye being the only regular guy, the only regular Avenger, right? He's the guy who should be like, geez, I don't I don't know what's going on here. I got a bow and arrow, right?
Right.
But when you focus in and you try to do that with him, you realize, or you should, that everybody in the Marvel Universe already is that. Tony Stark is a billionaire with 1 million robot suits, and he gets into a situation and goes, I don't know what this is. I don't even know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Thor is a god. He's an alien god from Asgard who can travel through time or whatever. And he's like, geez, have you seen what this is? Verily, I don't know.
Right.
There isn't anywhere to go.
Smashes his coffee cup and says, I want more.
No, he was the best when he was that, because he was a fish who brought the water with him.
That's true.
Sniff.
Yeah.
But like there's nothing. And Jeremy Renner, who we've discussed, not my favorite, but he shows up to do Hawkeye stuff. He is given nothing to do in this show other than just be the grumpy guy who's keeping the show right. But the thing about an everyman is he doesn't have to be anybody necessarily. He just has to be charismatic.
And he's not.
And I was trying to give him, you interrupted me, but I was trying to give him a compliment to say, I don't think it has anything to do with his charisma. I just think that his part is so flat in this and not well written.
Yeah, I would agree.
And maybe it's a little bit of him too.
I mean,
there's a little bit of him. But the point is that they have these clunky things. He goes, Hawkeye LARPs everybody. That was a card on a board somewhere. How do we get Hawkeye to LARP? Because that's hilarious. Circa 2008.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that.
When we had 3 different LARPing properties out in theaters.
I didn't think it was
Aren't
that
we
funny.
over that?
Yeah.
It's also a terrible depiction of LARPers.
It was not very. I've seen.
Watch
much
the
better.
documentary The Dungeon Masters. Uplifting and heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah,
follows
right.
the lives of 3 or 4 different LARPers. But it just there is nothing. There is no here.
Well, what if what if we saw him? So he's in New York with his kids, right? And he's supposed to be, for whatever reason,
terrible kids.
All right.
Ugh.
But he's supposed to be spending a
They're
long
awful.
time
I know
with
that
them.
they're the same. It's cool that you have the same actors, but like young apple-cheeked kids don't necessarily grow up into good actors. And
I don't know what the youngest
directors'
kid is
daughters
doing.
don't either.
Yeah, I know.
So glad they ship them off. Like really.
I know, but like, what if so he lost them in the snap, and he experienced being Ronin, and it was terrible and it was awful, and he lost Nat. So what if they showed him? I mean, it's been like 5 years, but what if it's like been really difficult for him to readjust to being the dad and family life? We don't really see that a whole lot.
Okay, the show's not over. Episode 4, he will definitely do a speech like that. He'll be trapped in some place with Kate, and she'll be like, "Well, come on, take this seriously. It's tough to take things seriously. It's tough. Lost my hearing. I lost my best friend."
Yeah.
We will definitely get something, and then that will be it.
But what if she loves Christmas and he hates Christmas? Or
Okay,
something?
stop pitching your shitty ideas. They don't help. It doesn't. Sorry if I seemed curt. I just don't know where we're going. This show has united us in hate and divided us in discussion. Because I think we need to. If we hate this as much as we do, we need to be very eloquent and successful in explaining why it's bad. And I'm attempting to do that by, first of all, breaking down that it has no purpose of being except to just have another 6 episodes for you to watch and subscribe to Disney Plus. The main character has no development beyond what we've seen. He's got a family. Great. He lost his best friend. Great. That's all we know about him. Yeah. And the new character is a complete zero.
I would agree.
She is Haley Steinfeld, liked her in True Grit. Haven't seen Dickinson, but she is the embodiment of I don't know what's going on here. Plus, there's nothing to grab onto. She is white. She is rich. No matter how expensive the Tiffany Lampshade they put on that in the show is, it does not change that or make her interesting at all.
Yeah, she's very privileged.
She's privileged. She is spoiled. I'm sure there will also be a speech where she talks about how, I had everything I wanted, but I never felt like I blah, blah, whatever. Like you don't set anything up. You don't draw us in. How long am I supposed to wait for something to happen?
I was just trying to think of ways they could give us more of a hook. And
No, don't defend yourself and don't drag us backwards. We're not doing that. We are not fixing this for them.
All right, fine. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I liked the comic of this, and I feel like they didn't really.
I didn't.
You didn't?
I'm going to be totally honest with you right now. I am not
Okay.
working from a rosy tinted glasses thing where the comic is the best thing ever. I always thought that the comic was something of an antidote to comics of that time. You know, we were pretty much shaking off the 90s by the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
But it was still something different. It focused a lot on the graphical design
It did.
nature of David Aja's art.
Which was great.
And the kind of one-note joke of the tracksuit mafia and having a dog that likes pizza. Oh, and there's an issue where he doesn't talk at all and he just eats pizza. You know, and having Hawkeye be a guy who wasn't like, I'm an Avenger, although he was never that Avenger, and drinking coffee out of the pot and just that kind of like snarky sort of thing. The MCU has filled us to bursting through the asshole with that shtick.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's anything new to do with this.
I just thought maybe my memory is failing, but I remember really liking the character of Kate Bishop, and I don't feel like that they really captured that in the writing of the script.
No, Kate is overconfident, and that comes from her upbringing, but it also just comes from, that's just her character, and it gets her in trouble sometimes because she bites off more than she can chew. She's not a buffoon. She is not clumsy.
In this, she's super awkward and clumsy.
Yeah, and she's not like totally incompetent. She's already like pretty good at what she does when she meets Hawkeye, and and she has an admiration for him, but it's not hero worship. It's almost like, I hope he doesn't find out that I took his bow from Avengers Mansion, because he's probably going to be really mad at me.
Probably.
But I like being a bow and arrow superhero.
Right. And I like
but it's not this hero worship
him.
thing. Now, I said we're not going to fix it, but maybe there is something to a guy who feels like he's a normal guy and she hero worships him, but he just hates it and he wants her to go away. If he was a guy who took pride in the fact, here's the God, I'm doing it. Okay. I apologize for castigating you before, because it is something that we do a lot. But here's a great example. They're in the Chinese restaurant.
Yep.
The waiter comes up and he says, you don't have to pay for anything. You saved the entire city. Enjoy the egg rolls on us.
Right.
And he's really embarrassed. What if he was kind of like, oh, hey, anytime. You know, this happens to me all the time. What if he had this kind of thing with his kids where it's like, I'm cool, though, you know, right? I'm famous, but I'm cool, right?
Right.
And then he, meets somebody who doesn't feel that way. Kate Bishop is like trying to be Hawkeye and shoot arrows and things, but she has no regard for him in that way. And he's like, why doesn't this kid like me?
See, that would be interesting.
She's wearing my outfit. She's shooting guys with arrows.
That would be interesting.
There's somewhere to go with that, where mutual respect can blossom instead of just, I really like you, and then I guess I'll learn that you're just a human being.
Yeah.
And you hate me, and you'll learn to tolerate me.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I mean, that is a buddy cop, Shane Black scenario.
Yeah.
But Shane Black can use boobs and the F word to bring you in.
Yeah.
They don't have that on Disney Plus.
They don't. And they're not really using Christmas as another character very well in this either.
They keep trying.
They keep trying. They keep stuffing it in our faces.
Like a turkey.
Yeah, or a turducken. But like, he goes around the table when they're at the Chinese restaurant, and he's like, this is gonna be the best Christmas ever.
Let's list a bunch of Christmas sweaters. That was popular 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah.
Why?
These kids would not even be. No.
No. What do you do with ugly Christmas sweaters? Do you do a competition with the family members? I don't understand.
Yeah. Kids, go out with your own money and buy some Christmas sweaters. Is Hawkeye rich or not?
Good question.
He's rich, right?
I think
here's another contrast that doesn't exist. Old and young, serious and goofy, I guess. Rich and rich.
Yeah. I think he's like middle class, doesn't need to worry about anything. Upper middle class, doesn't need to worry about anything.
Right, but isn't that interesting that, say, in Age of Ultron, everyone's least favorite Marvel film, until they get around in a couple years to redeeming it like they've redeemed all the bad Marvel films so far. Mm-hmm. Marvel, once they hit the end where the sidewalk ended, they're like, what do we do? Let's go back now and assuage our ego and pick all the worst films, Dark World, all the things that failed, and make them like core pillars of the next part of the bridge or the sidewalk that's going to go forward. Mm-hmm. And at some point they'll hit Age of Ultron, and I don't know, something will happen. But the point of Age of Ultron was, I'm a regular guy, and it's weird. It's this weird twist that I have a family, but also it's like, it's not a very good mystery. I just have a family. But it grounds me as the character who really does have something to lose here. If Earth is destroyed, technically Thor could just fly off to another planet. You know, everybody else doesn't have anything invested in this. Hawkeye has a family, and not only does he want the planet they're standing on to not explode, but he wants his life to be normal. He wants to maintain that. So he has to do crazy things to keep his loved ones alive. It's the most the Marvel Universe had done up to that point to acknowledge that they are saving anything.
That's true.
One of the big criticisms of superhero movies is that the world is always at stake. Who are you saving?
We don't know
the waitress
the
who's the kid
people.
in Growing Pains that
Yeah.
you cut out? Like you
Yeah.
cut all those things out. And so it's just the world. And nobody can focus on the world.
No, it's too big of an
And
idea.
they tried to do it with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they made those characters so distasteful
I didn't like that part of it.
it didn't really work. So Hawkeye is,
Could've done better.
that is his thing. He is normal. So if you continue that's their angle. I think that's what they're going with.
That
But
he's the
instead of it
normie.
instead of it being, I don't want to be swarmed by people because it will infect this normal life that I really want to go home to every night. It's just, it would be annoying to have somebody want to take a selfie with you when your dick is out and you're pissing.
Yeah,
It's just
right.
like the pitfalls of celebrity.
Right.
And those aren't really
Right.
bad pitfalls because we all want to be rich and famous and want somebody in the bathroom to go, I took a picture. And you go, oh, no, come on.
Right.
I'll pay for the Chinese food. Okay.
Right.
That's the kind of celebrity we would be. But he's the guy who's just like, I just want to get through this so we can get home.
Right.
You know?
I have a question for you. You
Yeah.
brought up something I think really interesting with the Age of Ultron. And in that movie, Wanda loses her brother, and he is the Avenger who reaches out to her and tries to get her to help them and come around and get out of, save the world. And like,
Wanda's not showing up in this.
No. I know that. But why does he not like Kate Bishop? He is like
He has
known
a history of mentorship.
and especially with young women, and like him and Nat had a huge relationship. Wouldn't it be interesting if somehow this wasn't in the comic, but if she reminded him of Nat in a way?
She will eventually. She hasn't yet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm
only-
waiting for the hook.
I'm only assuming that must be coming, but that you got to put that early. You know, we have to
Exactly.
want to see that happen. Yeah.
Like, why is he so much, I don't want to have anything to do with you just because he wants his protective little fantasy of a normal life?
It's not a fantasy. I mean, he has the life.
I mean, he does, but he's got to get this Ronin suit back because, like you were
Now
saying...
I think we wondered, like, is Lindsay, can't remember the actress's name, Linda Cardellini,
Yes.
is she not in this because she's busy? And I think she's not in it because they didn't have a spot for her. You know what I mean? I
But
think
she's in it.
No. She's in it, but you go like, why isn't she on the New York trip with him? Why isn't she sharing screen with Jeremy Renner? And you think, oh, she's doing something else and some kind of scheduling thing. I don't think the writers wanted her in it. I don't think they felt that she had a place. And so she is there to do
It's really
little phone
weird.
calls to remind him that there is a ticking clock for him to come home. But even Bonnie Bedelia had her own storyline in both Diehards that she was in.
Yeah, right.
Parallel to John McClane's.
Well, it's
they both
just-
resolve with a very trad wife kind of ending, but like she's literally just there to go, yeah, I exist still, and we're still waiting for you. The next episode, honey, well, the turkey's almost done. The little things are ready to pop out. The next episode, well, we've got most of the presents opened. You know, she is instead, here we go. She's the wife in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. She is
right.
just the custodian of the hearth fire,
Right.
waiting for him to come home. And that is dumb.
It is dumb. Do you think, though, that maybe, like, she didn't want to film in New York? Is she, like, somebody who's, like, super concerned about COVID or something like that?
No.
So she, like, no? Okay.
No.
That's just really weird.
She's not Letitia Wright. So let's
No.
talk about
I
the
wasn't
fact
saying that she wasn't
I am.
vaccinated or anything.
I Freaks and geeks off vaccinated, huh?
No, it's not. I just want to make that clear. That was not what I was saying.
We were talking about what is even a Hawkeye show if it's not just issues 1 through 6 of the Fraction comic, which
Right.
it's kind of turning into. Only Kate Bishop appeared later in that series, and they're just pushing that forward. And so she names Pizza Dog, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
What would it even be? And we made a list, and it was like, well, he feels bad about Natasha. He's having trouble being a superhero. You got to put the swordsman in it. We got to deal with some Ronin stuff. Like, this thing is just like paint by numbers checklist screenwriting, and it opens with them at the biggest crime, the worst best misused good idea.
Yeah.
Rogers the Musical.
Yeah. Right.
Which is supposed to be this whole time. I've always complained about how I don't know what they're saving. They never bothered to see how people actually feel about the Avengers and superheroes, except for like the end of Avengers where they're like, yay, I don't know about these superheroes, Excelsior.
Right.
And they finally are doing that in the shows. So it's like, boy, I love Falcon. You can't have a bank loan.
Yeah.
Even
right.
though
right,
I'm not
right.
really a person, I'm like an avatar of like, institutional racism.
Right.
And so what does the new Stephen Sondheim think about superheroes? Rogers the Musical. First of all, is this the finale? If all the Avengers are in it, why is it called Rogers? Second of all, you think Broadway? It's on Broadway. They were on Broadway. They might have been on 42nd Street. You think that the budget for a show like that is that low? They're in
It
like
would have been a lot
sweatpants.
bigger. Yeah, I know.
And the third point, the song, I listened to the lyrics, the song is too dumb. It's like a Simpsons bit. It's like the Planet of the Apes musical. Why
is
not
great.
make it kind of corny but earnest instead of just an SNL sketch?
No, I agree. If they had gone more earnest, it would have been better.
But while this is going on, he sees the actress playing Natasha, and he's like, oh. And I don't know, I'm sure that'll come back in some way in this aforementioned speech that I've talked about, that it's definitely coming.
Oh,
in
it's
a future
definitely
episode.
coming.
I'll never see it because I'm not going to finish watching this.
No.
But then his daughter goes, are you okay? Bitch, she was your aunt.
I know.
Your littlest brother is named after her.
Yeah.
Why aren't the kids experiencing any of this
I
either?
don't
Is it because
understand.
they're not characters?
Yeah. I don't understand.
It's just silly.
It is silly. It makes her less important in their lives too because of their reactions, and I don't.
Well,
like
it makes them less of a family. Why do I care about his family? Why do I buy that he is a superhero average Joe who loves his kids and wife and just, I just want my kids back, for Christmas.
Right.
Like, why do I buy that if they're just quit machines who can act, and then you shuffle them into a van and get rid of them?
Yeah.
I'm not saying hang him off a building or something, but it worked for True Lies.
Wow.
Right? True Lies.
Yeah.
Heavy from work. He just wants to live. He's just a guy who's got a spy job.
Yeah,
He's
I
got
know.
Janet Leigh.
I know.
Not her name.
Not her name. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Don't tell her about Janet Leigh.
Yeah, that's her mom.
He's got something else.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just, what if we took all that out and then just replaced it with the word pizza?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, she lives above a pizza place.
Yep.
She likes pizza. She gets hurt. She puts a pizza on her wound.
Frozen
She's,
pizza.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's not like a steak.
No.
Put a steak on that black guy.
Yeah.
Well, okay. But that went out because nobody can afford steak anymore.
Yeah, right.
She feeds, the dog loves pizza.
Yeah.
He's got a name. It's Pizza Dog.
Yeah.
His name's actually Lucky, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like the effing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Pretty much.
The Teenage Mutant Turtles look at this and go, dude, too much pizza.
Yeah,
I just think the MCU is
too much.
finally trying to show us its world, the civilian, the populace, and it's cliche and overdone. Like, this show is the Rogers the Musical of the MCU so far.
There was a funny moment in, like, I think it was in the second episode where they were, like, walking down the street and there was, like, this little kid who was like, Mommy, a superhero. And, like, at first, like, Clint and Kate think that they're talking about him. And then they turn around and then there's some kids dressed up in superhero outfits. And Kate's like, well, I think that one's you. And he's like, that's Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah. Thanks. The show thanks you for doing its jokes for it.
Yeah,
but
I know.
It's a total crapshoot as to whether anyone will recognize. He's either the most recognizable man in the world,
Yeah.
or nobody has an idea who he is.
Right.
Or in one weird scene, they do. He literally uses a medieval weapon, but as somebody who runs a LARP, they don't care who he is.
Yeah, I know.
What?
The LARP, they're so officious at the LARPing thing, which
What?
is just so weird. It's like, you're not making these characters look any better, and you're not making them look like fully realized
Little
characters.
Caesar's like, too much pizza.
Right.
You got
exactly.
pizza.
And I just, Kate's mom is just not great.
I hate Vera Farmiga.
I don't
hate
know
her.
what else.
I bet she's a great person. I hate everything that she's done.
What else has she done?
She would be great in, she's American, right? I think so. But she would be great in like a 1980s British drama that is about class and society, like whatever they watched instead of Dallas over there in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's just, I don't believe a word she says. She's got this very fake, acting style, but you see that every day on Downton Abbey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, she's just so unconvincing. And no, don't get me wrong. Like the script's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody's threatening her and she's like, Mom, is he threatening you? I don't even know. That's not even a good lie.
It's not.
Is that supposed to be part of her character?
I literally don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
If she was a distant, society, like woman who was, her daughter was raised by a succession of servants or something like that, or
we don't
or
see
nannies.
that.
If that was a thing, then there would be a wedge between them. But they all love each other. It's perfect. Then daddy dies. Then she's a bit of a roustabout, but she comes home and her mom is immediately there to talk to her. And then like later on, somebody threatens her mother with violence. And she's like, I don't even know. I don't know. Like it's not even a good lie.
It's not. And
it just, there is no explanation. So it's just lazy, right? It's just get to the next scene. Doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Why is there a supervillain auction happening in the back room?
I know.
Party?
Right.
And the
why
answer
there's
is
so many people
her mom
there.
will totally be a super criminal as well.
And then
But-
why does anybody care about Ronan? And like his suit was at like the Avengers compound.
Well, see, here's the
Nobody
thing.
thinks that's weird.
Here's
His
the
suit
thing.
and his sword.
the heroes didn't disappear. We don't know what the heroes did during the blip.
Mm-hmm.
But we do know that Ronan went out and killed a bunch of people.
Yep.
Ostensibly bad people.
Yeah.
Now, an interesting question might be, since we don't have the Punisher in this universe, I know yet, is what he did good or bad?
Well,
I think there are a lot of people who would be really happy that he cleaned up the streets, right? A lot of people on a detestable, sticky, gooey side of the aisle.
Yeah.
So people that Hawkeye probably doesn't want as fans.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Hawkeye's probably pretty conservative.
I don't really care to get into all of that.
Anyway,
but,
that's none of that is a part of it. It's just ninja suit. I had a ninja suit. I'm gonna get you.
Yep. Right. And
The biggest fiction is that somebody would want to pick with Hawkeye. That's all I'm saying.
that would want to what?
A pick.
A pit? What? I don't understand what that means.
You know what a pick is, right?
No.
Let's take some pics.
Oh, a picture.
Why did you forget what a pick was all of a sudden?
I don't know. It's like I wasn't picking it up on it with like
No,
context.
pick. Oh, maybe you use pick as too many homonyms, and so therefore.
I didn't know if you meant like a
Or
guitar pick
phones, sorry, on
or
the
something
phones.
like that. I didn't know what you meant.
Taking a pick.
Yeah, okay. Let me get all
Can I get a pick with
can-
you? Do you
can
know what
I-
I'm talking about right now?
Yeah, can I
Oh,
can I
okay.
get all the deet for this pick?
There's no way to save this.
Yeah, okay.
You can't save it.
Anyways, and then like they're throwing the stepdad figure in, who you think is like the swordsman.
He is the swordsman.
Okay,
His name is Jacques de Kens. He's the swordsman.
okay, but like they're trying to make it seem like he killed like his uncle.
He didn't.
I don't think he did either. And it's like really obvious. And just like the whole thing is just it's clumsy, and I don't know what they're trying to. Here's a question. At the beginning, when she was a little kid, her mom and her dad were fighting about like how they would have to move. What was that all about? And it's not like mom lost money, or maybe they were losing money and then dad died, and so the health insurance or the life insurance paid for whatever they needed to do. I don't know. It just seems weird, that conversation, and it seems disconnected from everything else that follows.
You know what a weird disconnected conversation is? Kate Bishop deciding to help Hawkeye with his branding.
That was really strange.
Like, are you a marketing major? Is that what you're doing at school? Why are we doing this? Why
Yeah.
do you care? Like, I thought you said you were a fan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Is it
And
like a
she's-
Disney executive writing this
It
now?
it is usually the authorial voice is something like Aaron Sorkin having a character talk about how hippies need to take a bath or something like that, and it's the White House chief of staff, right?
Right.
In this case, the writer of the episode is like, the thing about Hawkeye is like he doesn't have any flash. He needs to wear a hat with horns on it, in purple or something. He needs to up his image. Now put those very cynical words from a 40-year-old person in a performance fleece in the fresh mouth of this 22-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm just going to rush through this phrase. Who should be 18, by the way. Why is she 22? Why is it important that she's 22?
I don't know.
It's dumb. Maybe she's lying.
So she
how
can
young?
drink
She's not
at
that
some
young of
point?
an Avenger. How old was Wanda? She's not a
Yeah.
young Avenger at this point.
Yeah.
It's like Magneto joining the X-Men. They're supposed to be teenagers. And so it's all like a meta riff on the problem with Hawkeye. And we have sat with Hawkeye for almost 13 years now.
Yeah.
We understand Hawkeye. We get that Hawkeye is this. And you're not going to fix him. And it's
No.
not important. And the most important thing she says is that they want sincerity. They want you to wear your heart on your sleeve. And all I hear is a writer who maybe is not at the basic level. Maybe this is a higher up person trying to make the case for what they have done or are going to do to a lot of these superheroes.
Right.
No more Cap. You can see the jaw muscles going in and out, because he's gritting his teeth. He's thinking about this thing.
Right.
He's going to be replaced by a minority actor who's a young minority actor who goes, it's crazy that we're doing this. Can you believe this? I don't know about this.
yeah.
Where are the deets?
Yeah, right.
And it's like, good for some. That would probably draw a younger audience who feels like they can identify with these characters more.
Yeah.
But you're going to need things to wrestle with. They're not going to have Hitler. That's taken.
Yeah, right. No,
But
that's
you
done.
got to find something.
Yeah.
It's the Anakin problem. Kids will like Anakin, but kids don't really like Anakin more than Luke Skywalker because Luke Skywalker is
Yes.
fighting a robot with a lightsaber
Yeah,
and trying
right.
to save the galaxy.
Right.
His problem is bigger and more compelling, and so therefore he will always be more interesting.
Yes.
Anakin is just trying to win a race,
pod
the rules
racing.
of which no one understands.
Yeah, right.
So look, good luck, guys. Good luck. Assuming Jeremy Renner bows out at the end of this or whatever, and we go on with Haley Steinfeld, good luck giving her
I mean,
something. Who should get the tracksuit mafia? We haven't even talked about Echo, and honestly, I don't even want to talk about Echo. It doesn't
we
matter.
barely saw Echo, and it didn't look enticing what they're doing with Echo, unfortunately. Does Hawkeye as a character work?
He's worked so far.
Okay. So does he work as having his own series, or is he more a character that is reacting to everybody else and is the everyday man when everybody else has superpowers and been around for a really long time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what you asked. I kind of tuned out because the question went on for a long time. I think he works and he should continue to exist. If you mean Kate Bishop Hawkeye, I don't know, got to reevaluate. But I've read Hawkeye for literally my entire life in the comics and love him. And even though I don't like Jeremy Renner, I have fairly enjoyed Hawkeye in the Marvel MCU so far. I think that it's weird and grounding that a guy can shoot lightning and a guy can nuke you from a mile away and a guy has an arrow that splits into 3 arrows. The fact that he's still part of this
Right.
thing, I think is great.
Right.
Until today.
I was just
Until
asking
today.
if he works on his own or if he needs a team of other characters around him. Do you think he works on his own?
Does Black Widow work on her own?
Yes, even though her movies sucked. Yeah, I think Black Widow does.
I think he
work on her
could.
own.
I
Yeah.
think having a character who doesn't want to be here is only going to call out to the audience members that don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Recommend? Do you recommend or not recommend?
I would. I'm sorry, Marvel, but you're doing this to yourself. I would not recommend it.
I'm gonna cough. Here's my recommendation.
Yeah, I would not recommend. It's painful, and I wish it was better. Do better, Marvel, because just make it about something. Sit down and think about what the theme is
I found
for the
myself
show.
longing for Iron Fist.
That's really bad.
Yeah, well, at least it had Jessica Henwick in it.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of rich people drinking wine. And,
I wanted to
and
punch them
saying
in the
things,
face so
but
bad.
not, saying things, but not really meaning what they're saying or whatever. And their daughters dressed like David S. Pumpkins for some reason.
Yeah, I know.
I just found myself like, man, at least we could go to Kunlun at some point.
Yeah,
We didn't even
I know.
have that.
No.
So, yeah, I wouldn't recommend this at all.
No.
In fact, I'll think less of you if you watch this. No, I don't know. I mean, this is it. We need to work. We need to work harder. People are relying on us. Because, gosh darn it, we did not like this show. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend my conversation about it.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we've watched bad things and had more fun talking about them. But like this was just so bad that it actually was not even fun to talk about.
You think it was painful to talk? Okay. All right. Well, we should have made it more fun to talk about.
Well, how can we do that?
I don't know, have a pizza score, like whoever mentions pizza the most gets the most.
Well, you would have
points.
lost. Oh, the most. You would have won.
Okay. All right.
I came back strong in the second half.
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I think you just clinched it with that idea and that game, and then saying pizza.
Or something else. You know what I mean? Like games, so it's more fun. That's what I'm saying.
Here's a game.
Yeah.
Who can go the longest without watching Hawkeye? Begin.
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on.
Well, we'll come back in the future and see who can win that game. I got a strong feeling that I'm going to win that one,
Yeah.
but who knows? One of us broke down and watched The Wheel of Time, and
I
maybe
told you it
she'll
was
talk
gonna
about that in
happen.
the future. But until then, you can find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Just Enough Trope. Also on Discord. There's a link in the show notes to our Discord. And tell us what you thought. Be brave enough to tell us you liked Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know us. We're nice.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it. But tell us if you think, here's a better one. Tell us if you think the MCU is headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we had to do 12 and a half years of stories about white men. And now we do the stories about the characters of color and the young people and the gay people. And
Yeah.
all the good writers have left. So it's going to once again look like comic fans are just racist and sexist. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of comic fans that are racist and sexist.
Yeah.
But I wish the young LGBTQ, I wish the social justice warrior characters could get the good writers.
Yeah.
Because then they'd really fly.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know. Let's just dive into this mud pit and see where we end up. Also, go on that listening platform of choice. Now, according to my data, you're all listening on Spotify, which means that there's no way to give us a review. But if you're listening on something else, Acast, is Podchaser a thing? I believe it is.
I think so.
Or the old reliable Apple Podcasts. Give us a rating and a review. Subscribe to the show. Do all those things. Attach yourself to us.
Yes.
Do that with a glue firing arrow. With a trick arrow that's gonna stick us together.
Yes.
Be there with us as we are there with you. 2 sets of footprints in the sand. One never disappears.
I like that.
And to that end, give us 5 slices of pizza to give to that poor one-eyed dog. There's a behind the scenes that tells you how they gave the dog one eye, right? Because if they glued a dog's eye shut, I'm madder than I was before.
I don't think that they could get away with that.
It's probably
I'm just going to
CG,
say that.
but what a waste of CG.
I would say just don't do that for the dog. Just let the dog
Pizza
have
dog's
2
just
eyes.
got 2 eyes.
Yeah,
That's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Echo should be able to hear then too, huh? Yeah, give us 5 stars, and we'd appreciate that. We'll be back next week to talk about something else. And until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mika Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.